Welcome back to my channel, everyone, and how is everyone doing on this beautiful day? And so I want to thank AZUREBEAUTY to start off this video because they sent me this wonderful dip powder kit. So with their help, this video was brought to you by them. And I was excited to review this dip powder kit because I haven't done a lot of dip powder nails, and I thought, well, they're probably just going to send me one of their little like 6-piece collections or things like that, because I was checking them out on Amazon after they sent me the invite. And no, they sent me a 20-piece dip powder kit with all of these goodies. So not only does it come with very detailed instructions, it also comes with this really nice cuticle pusher, which I did use to push my cuticles back and kind of separate them from my nail plate. And then I just trimmed up my cuticles because I'll show you my prep method here in a moment. But yeah, it's very nice, and I love when it has this end on the other side. This again is really nice to help separate your cuticle from your nail plate, so that way your product can apply nicely and flush. And then I was really excited to get one of these brushes. I actually got one with a Model 1s kit that I previously purchased a long time ago, and I lost this brush, or it got ruined somehow. I can't remember, but I'm really glad that I got another one of those because they're perfect for dip powder. And then they included all four of, well, I shouldn't say all four, but at least four of the basic things that you need to apply your dip powder. So you got your base, your activator, your gel top coat, and then brush shaver. Now when they say gel top, it does dry. It actually dries very quickly, and it is something that you need to apply quickly as well, but we will get into that a little bit later. So you don't actually have to cure it in the lamp, which is one of the other things that I love about dip powder, is that you don't have to use a lamp if you don't absolutely need to. So I also like that this came with a clear, and it says it right on the side of the bottle, or the side of the jar, that it is transparent. So that was also another really nice indicator, so you don't have to guess, is this white, is it clear, etc. So I also love the fact that all of the numbers were also in order. I have like really bad OCD about that. If they weren't in order, I was going to put them in order. And then there were a couple of colors that just really stuck out to me, like this really gorgeous like gold brown color. I did end up only using one color in today's set because I was going to use two, and I forgot to apply the other color to my pinky. I just kept going with the one I was using on my middle and my ring finger. But this is these are all of the colors together, and like I said, I could not believe the variety and the fact that they sent me a 20-piece set. And so I did swatch them off camera because it does take a while, since I use the base coat method to do that, and I swatched them on these little dots. But so beautiful, and such a gorgeous array of colors and nudes and like browns. Also the glitters that were in this kit, which I used one of the shimmers, were just absolutely gorgeous. So thank you again to AZUREBEAUTY for that. I had to stop my recording and go to the chiropractor, so if I sound like I'm echoing or whatever the case may be, it's because I'm in my basement now, where it is quiet and I'm away from my children. But yeah, so getting back into the video, I don't know why I feel like when I leave my voiceover and I come back, I have to, like, I feel like I want to tell you guys where I've been, or like you guys know that I left and had to come back or something. But right now I'm just sizing out these tips. So these are one of my favorite brand of tips because they're very lightweight and they fit great from sidewall to sidewall. So I really, really like these. And I actually looked on Amazon to see if AZUREBEAUTY had nail tips or things like that, and they didn't. So I did try to use as many of their products that came in the kit as possible. But yeah, these just fit really well, and I really, really like these. So here's where I struggled a little bit. I typically use nail glue, but I also applied a layer of my peel off base coat. I finally figured out how to get it to work, but it works a little too well now. I did not prep my natural nail at all. I did do a little bit of cuticle work and trim down my cuticles so that they look nice, but outside of that, I did not do anything else. So I tried the base coat method where you apply it with base coat. I even thought about using more peel off base coat to apply these, but I cannot get I cannot get base coat to stick to my nails for some reason when I try applying my nails using base coat. So if any of you know or have any tips on how to get them to stick or how they stick or whatever, or maybe it's just the base coat that I'm using. I typically try to use like Beetles or this nail primer base coat that I have, and it just wasn't working. So I did go in with just regular nail glue, and it took a while to get them to stick. But I'm also just trimming my nails down to make sure that they fit comfortably in the pot, because I am just going to dip my nails into the pot this time. So I was like, I don't really feel like using a cupcake liner or dumping them on. And here you can see that even with nail glue, I was really struggling. So I left the thumbnail out. I did not do my thumbnail. These are the two colors that I was interested in using today. I do end up only using one of the colors because I messed up, right? But I am going to show you a lot of the application process and how I did that and explain that a little bit. But this pink was really pretty. It's like a really gorgeous like rose color, and I really liked it. So I wanted to use it in combination with one of my favorite shimmer colors from this collection. And so this is the number 1. So this is the dip base, right? And this is like the glue base that is going to help the powder stick to your nails. I did go up about halfway, and then that way we could build the apex in that area when I go in for my second layer. I did 3 layers and then use the activator and things like that, but we'll get to that a little bit later. But you can see I'm just slowly going in at an angle like the directions state. That way it doesn't get all gunky like at the edge of your tips. And, you know, I just kind of rock it back and forth just to make sure that the base has fully absorbed, and I leave it sit in there for a second as well, like in the powder, so that way again it's completely absorbed to that first layer. But honestly, dip powder nails are so easy and so quick. This entire recording of this part I think only took me like 15 minutes to do all 3 layers. So and in this first layer I just really wanted to show you like the beauty of these colors, right? They're very, very pretty. And again, it was just so hard to choose a color because I had so many options. But I am going to show you where I goofed up quite a bit. Outside of struggling to put my nail tips on, there are other parts of applying dip powder nails that I struggle with, which is why I don't do them very often. Definitely don't feel like I have mastered the dip powder world like I have mastered the polygel world. I absolutely love polygel, and it is my favorite medium to work with, but I will do dip powder nails from time to time because they're so easy. Now, I was going to do the pinky nail in the first like rose pink color that I used, and that's just not what happened. I forgot to do that. So I was like, wow, I just have one nail that's this color and the other ones aren't. But I end up taking my index nail off anyway, because like I mentioned, my peel off base coat worked just a little bit too good. These nails did not last long after I applied them. I tried to wear them for like throughout the day, and I was trying to pick up a pan and one of the nails popped off in my sink, thankfully not in the food, right? So yeah, I just ended up taking the rest of them off eventually. But I do really love these colors, and I do really love the way that they turned out, and we'll continue to go through the rest of the process. So for this for the second coat, I did go in and I did a full nail of coverage. Now my tips were still a little bit long, so again, you're going to see me rock them in the powder a little bit, and then you're going to see me also, I go in at an angle and then I move my nail forward a little bit, and that way it covers the entire nail and make sure it gets absorbed in the base coat. So, and then I, again, like you can see, I tap excessively and then I nicked it on the side of the pot, and that caused problems. So here is my other whoops, right? So I had a little piece of skin that I, on my cuticle that I didn't cut off all the way. And then as I was tapping it, I did nudge it or smudge it with my other nail, with my nail on my other hand. And I was like, oh my God. I tried to fix it and recover it, you could see, but you can also see that the, around my cuticle on that rose colored nail, it's a little rigid, and that is from my peel off base coat. And so, yeah, this was such a struggle for me, but I think these colors are absolutely beautiful. So, with the base coat, I do make sure and I go in around my cuticle as well, just to keep it as nice and neat as possible for this third layer, to make sure to wipe any of that excess away and get the excess off. I should have had a glove on my left hand, but again, I don't know. I just didn't use one, and I should. I absolutely should. But these turned out pretty either way, and you're going to see pictures of that here in a moment. But after I'm done with all 3 coats, I go in with the activator. You do want to make sure to let each layer dry. So I let each layer dry about 30 seconds. Usually as you go through each finger with the base coat, every time you dip, it dries within about 30 seconds, right? So by the time you get back to, you're done with your pinky and you get back to your index finger, you're able to dust off the excess powder and go in for another layer. And then now I'm just going in with a very, very heavy layer of activator. And I am making sure what this does is it just adheres the glue and makes sure all of that base glue cures and dries quickly. It's almost like that finishing spray when you're applying, like, when you're applying bling with the adhesive glue and you spray it with like the activator to make it stick. That's pretty much what activator does for these types of nails. So this is what everything is looking like before I filed it. I did try to use their file, and I probably, if my application was a little bit better, it would have been a lot easier to use this file. It was working, right? It was working very well, but I did end up using my, what do you call that? I went in with my e-file around my cuticles because I had my peel off base coat on. And so since I was really working these nails, it was starting to peel off already on this index finger. And especially when I went in to file the edges, when I'm doing my non-dominant hand, I hold the file and then I move my finger. So that way I have more control over what area is getting filed. But I did use this file that came with the kit to file down all the edges of my nails, and kind of take it a little bit easier so they weren't popping off throughout this prep process. So I did want to leave this in the video and kind of show you how I do that and how I hold the file and then just move my hand versus moving the file around my fingers working on my non-dominant hand. But yeah, so I went in with my Pana 5-in-1 bit. It was fine grit because it doesn't take a lot to file dip powder. Dip powder is very easy to file compared to acrylic since you're not using monomer. So yeah, these turned out so cute, and I absolutely love the shape of these, which is another reason why I love those nail tips so much. Because I really like the tapered square, and it's a lot easier to wear for me. But and then after I file, you want to make sure you go back in with another coat of that activator and then wait. Actually, after I apply activator, I wait about 1 to 2 minutes for it to completely dry, or at least 1 to 2 minutes for it to dry. And then this just ensures after you file that everything is sticking together now that you filed a little bit of that top layer off. It's also another reason why you might not want to do 6 or 7 layers of 6 or 7 layers of dip, because then it's harder for that glue to adhere and for the activator to reach through the entire nail. So yeah, after you file, you just want to make sure that you apply another layer of activator so that way it makes sure all of that glue sticks together. And this is where you can see my peel off base coat just peel right off since I did not prep my natural nails. So yeah, I did go in and I just did the first nail to match all the other ones, so they all matched, and I applied the gel top coat, or it's not a gel top coat. It says gel top coat on the bottle, but it is not. You do not have to cure it at all, but it is a little bit thicker and it dries very quickly. Like, I'm talking like less than a minute to completely dry, and you didn't have to use the lamp at all. So that's another bonus of dip powder nails, is you don't have to use the lamp. I only did one layer of top coat, and you can see that they're very shiny and they're very nice. So overall, I love this kit. And thank you all for being the best part of my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video.